Good morning, YouTube. Karen from Lavender Clothesline. For those of you who don't know me, I am a full-time eBay seller. I am just about to hit 59 years old, and I've been selling on eBay for about 5 years, if my math is right. So I wanted to jump on today just to make a quick video to reintroduce myself for those of you who have just recently joined into my channel or my Instagram, which is also Lavender Clothesline, and just let you know a little bit about my story. I came into eBay selling because of the desire to be able to support myself at this stage in life. I was married for about 28 years and went through a lengthy divorce, which I kind of saw coming after a few years before the divorce. And most of the 28 years I was helping to run a family business. I was homeschooling my children, keeping busy with large gardens and housekeeping. We had a fairly high maintenance house. And yes, so at the time that my life was taking some changes, I really had wanted to choose a career path, or a job path, I should say. I didn't realize it would be a career that would support myself financially while I was making the move, because I was moving off of Long Island, New York. I had decided to relocate myself in Pennsylvania to be closer to my 3 kids, which I think you know, my oldest, Mellissa, Freshbloominclothing. She's also on eBay and Instagram and YouTube under the name Mellissa with 2 L's. That's a whole nother story for another day. And I have a middle daughter, Lisa, who has a landscaping business. She's married and has a daughter, and she edits my videos and edits my eBay photos for me, and just generally is a huge help. And I have a son who lives in North Carolina, and I don't get to see as often as I'd like. So with having said all of that, I was making the move from Long Island to Pennsylvania, and I was looking for a way to support myself. I didn't realize at the time that eBay would take off for me and I would be making the income that I'm making. So presently I am selling over $100,000 worth on eBay, which is just thrilling. Most of what I sell is pre-owned, and I'm picking it up at estate sales, yard sales, thrift stores. I'm buying people's closets privately, which entails going into a person's home or having them bring their closet to me of everything they want to sell. So for instance, I will have somebody make an appointment with me. They will bring over hundreds of items, and we will sit together and I will quickly go through what I'd like to purchase, and I have a set price point for that, and I let them know that ahead of time before they go through the work of bringing me their items. So having said that, that's where I've sourced this whole time. And like I said, I had no idea at the time that I would be just able to make a full-time living this way. So I'm really enjoying selling on eBay, and just with the natural progression of selling on eBay, going to conferences, getting to meet a lot of you guys, networking, I came across Instagram. At the time, this was about 3 years ago, I had heard of Instagram, but I had never posted or opened an account. And one of the other sellers said, hey, you should be on Instagram to keep track of what's going on in the community. And it was a little daunting, but you know me, jump into the deep end of the pool. I made an account and just started posting away. I was posting what I was selling, what my thoughts were, and it was all a lot of fun. And lo and behold, fast forward the 3 years, I now have 18,000 followers following my craziness. So then I had eBay and I had Instagram, and my life is very full. I own a home and do a lot of maintenance on the home because it's an older home. And I also have a very active social life. I like to date and I like to go out with friends. So I have all of that going on too. I play golf, and thrifting takes up a big portion of my time. Having said all of that, now we're up to YouTube. Recently, I decided to start making YouTube videos. It was a long time in the thought process because that's how my brain works. Sometimes it takes me quite a while of thinking about something till I do jump into the deep end of the pool. I don't always know how to do the thing, but once my mind commits to doing something, then I'm all in. So I jumped into making YouTube videos, filming with the camera I'm filming with now. which is just my iPhone. I have an 8, and editing with Wondershare. Most of my editing, almost all of it, is done by my middle daughter, Lisa, who is also my photographer for eBay. So that has worked out wonderful. One of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is no matter what happens to us in life, we are all in our own minds writing our own stories. And I think one of the greatest strengths that I have is seeing my story in a positive light. Like many of us, I have had my share of failures, of disappointments, of just challenges and obstacles. But I think one of the reasons that my success has come, the success to this level, is because I look at my story in a positive way. Even though I've been through a very long divorce, even though I decided to sell the family home and make the move at this point in life, I moved about 4 years ago, so I was, do the math quickly, 55, around 55. I look at my life as a journey. I really am blessed to have a positive outlook. Not to say I don't have days that I stress or overstress about small details, but when an opportunity comes, I take the opportunity if I've waited out and I think it's doable. So this video is to introduce myself or reintroduce myself for those of you who follow me that don't know much about my story. I won't go into the graphic details of my divorce or what happened financially, but I want to encourage those of you who are out there who are considering reselling to supplement your income. eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, whatever platform you choose to sell on is a very viable way of making income, in my opinion, especially for those of us at this age of life. You may be retiring from a career that you've had your whole life. You might be struggling from life changes or illnesses or medical conditions. Everybody has a story. I just want to encourage everybody and tell you that if I can do this, you can do this. I had no or very little technical know-how. I came into using a computer very late in life. I didn't even realize fully how to get on the web. And here I am, still fumbling some days, but like I said, selling $100,000 and over just on the eBay platform. I do sell on Facebook Marketplace and offer up. I like to flip bigger furniture. And now I am actually making income on YouTube, which was a total shock to me because I went from day one on YouTube to 1 month later making income, being monetized, which I think is unheard of. I attribute that to just being social and networking with other people. That's the big secret, in my opinion. I'm not afraid to say hello to people. I love meeting people. Even when I go to conferences, I try to touch base with as many people as I can. Recently, if any of you have watched the last interview I did with my daughter Mellissa, Freshbloominclothing, I talked about putting together a resellers dinner. These were total strangers I met in some of the thrift stores that I go to, just from recognizing they were resellers, introducing myself and saying hello. And a lot of them were kind enough to say hello to me first. So that was just so humbling and so wonderful. I love making new friends. So having said all of that, I digress. Going out and networking, making friends, even if it is online, even if it's not in person, I feel has been one of the greatest pleasures, successes, and just all around enrichment of this whole experience is from meeting you guys. So today I am jumping on once again. I'm on vacation, so I don't have my regular lighting, so this might be a little dark, but I wanted to take this time to reintroduce myself, Karen, Lavender Clothesline, and say hello to all of you and thank you all for following my journey. There's a lot more to come. I'm crazy in love with this business. Not that it doesn't have its challenges. Know that the challenges that you probably face as maybe a new reseller are a lot of the challenges that us more veteran sellers are still trying to find answers to. Sometimes eBay is a hard platform to deal with, but if you persevere and if you have a passion for selling, absolutely jump in and give it a try. There's nothing to lose. Just list a few things around your house, find a few items, Make one listing on eBay. Open a small account. You don't need a store. You don't need any fancy things. As long as you have a phone, you should be able to list on eBay. So hello to all of you. Thank you for following my journey. I recently reached 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. And like I said, I've only been on for a month. So hello to everybody. So glad to connect with you, to hear your comments. Feel free to leave a comment below on this video of how long you've been selling, if you're not selling yet and you would like to, or if you are just a stalker and want to see what all of us crazy people are selling and making big money on. There are so many YouTubers I'd like to thank, so many resellers that have enriched my experience. I'd like to say thank you to Casey, Rockstarflipper, who has always given me great information. I've never met you, Casey, in real life, but he has a wonderful channel and I watch him frequently. I'd also like to thank Ralli Roots. This is Ryan and Alie, for all of the great content they put out and how sweet they are. I did get to meet them at one of the conferences and they're just so down to earth and wonderful sweethearts. So thank you so much to you. I'd also like to thank Scavenger Life, Ryan and Jay, for their wonderful podcasts. If you are looking for a great podcast about reselling and just frugal life in general, they consider themselves scavengers. It is called Scavenger Life. That's their podcast name. And who else? Thecollegepicker, Eric, who has openly shared all of his information. He has wonderful YouTube videos on his bike tour through Japan. So entertaining. And the Bonafide hustler, Chris, has been a great inspiration in sharing his knowledge on what he sells, and his crazy yard sale tours are wonderful. I also want to do a special shout out thank you to my daughter Mellissa with 2 L's and Freshbloominclothing on Instagram and eBay for helping me start this crazy journey, continue on. She just has a wealth of information. I believe she has sold now over 25,000 items. Yep, 25,000 items on eBay. Some years she has sold full time, sometimes she has done it part time, and just having her by my side has just been amazing. There are a few other people I'd like to thank, but I will cut this short and just say this is very doable. I hope that you give it a try. Don't let fear intimidate you. I had to get over myself because I'm very type A, very perfectionist to a fault a lot of times. I had to not worry about if my hair went flat, if my makeup was too dark or too light, if I said 1,000 times. So I have all of the hang-ups that a lot of other people have. But the one thing that I think has really encouraged me is that we have this great ability to reach out, to share what we're doing with other people, and just hopefully make money doing it. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Thank you again to all of you that are commenting and connecting with me, leaving me great feedback, and just being all around willing to share your lives. So as always, go out and get what's yours. This first find is a skirt I recently picked up and I showed in one of my clothing haul videos. It's an Eileen Fisher Lag and Look skirt. This was new without tags. I paid $4.50 and it sold for $82.88. What a great profit for this brand. I absolutely love this brand. The next item is a fisherman's sweater. I always look for this type of knit. It's pretty easily identifiable when it's on the rack. You want to take a look at the tag. This is Innisfree. This is a woman's and it's a hand knit made in Ireland. It sold for $100 plus shipping. I paid $4.50. The next item, again, was recently found. I didn't know what I was looking at when I looked at this in the thrift store. Very unique item, handmade, I believe. And this I called a dancer's apron. It sold for $54.95, and I believe I paid $4.50. I generally paid that price range anywhere from $2 to $5. So sometimes when I quote these prices, I don't go back and look at every individual receipt, but I know what I pay for items. So that's why you'll hear me say either $2.97, $4.50, or $4.97 quite often. The next item is Pheromone. This is a scent by Marilyn Micklin. I believe Marilyn Micklin is sold on QVC. This sold for $55.44, and this was in one of those bag lots that the thrift stores hang on the wall. I don't always look at those lots. I sometimes forget, but this time I remembered and I grabbed this. The next item is not one of my favorite things to ship, but the minute I saw this, I knew this was definitely a keeper. This is made by Colony. This is new old stocks. This is true vintage, never been used. I found this in its original box, all sealed. It brought $75 plus shipping, and I paid $4.97. The next item is Ralph Lauren. It was a vintage handbag. This also could have been used as a messenger bag for work, for business. I got $71.42 and I paid $6.97 for this bag. This next item is a Pottery Barn floral duvet cover. I find when I'm looking in the linens in the thrift store, most linens have the same price tag. So I picked this up for $2.50. The thrift store employees don't take time to look inside the duvet to identify this as Pottery Barn. So if you know your linens and you can recognize Pottery Barn or Ralph Lauren, this is a very easy pickup at the same price point that a lesser quality brand will bring. So this brought $65 and I paid $2.50. The next item is just gorgeous. This is a wood cutting board. It was new with tag, $43.75, and the maker's name was on the tag and on the back. That's the only way I identified the brand of this, and I paid $4.97. This pair of boots I did pay up for. These boots were in the case in a thrift store, so they recognized the quality of this brand, and it brought $144.69, and I paid $9.97. So those are just a few of the crazy high profit thrift finds I wanted to share in this video, and hope everybody's having a great week, and to remember, go out and get what's yours.